Hi everybody, and welcome back to the fourth part of this sales education series. Today we will talk about problem solving as part of sales activities. In order not to make a longer session, the whole session about problem solving will be split in more videos. And in this one we will talk about how to start and how to formulate the problem statement as base for all next activities. Solving problem as selling approach is important because in order to be relevant to a customer, you should help them solve their pain. And by gaining their trust, you will be also in the position as their partner when they will only need vitamins. In order to be in a position to successfully solve customers' problem, you first need to be good at defining what problem really is. As Einstein put it, if I had an hour to solve a problem, I spent 55 minutes thinking about the problem and 5 minutes thinking about solution. This is even more important in the sales process. If you don't define the real problem, then your sales process will go in the wrong direction. On the other hand, customers will give you information from their perspective, and different people inside an organization will have different view on what is a real problem. As we have talked about when we presented challenger model of selling, good salesperson is able to cut through noise, define a real problem, and challenge the customer to accept it. Defining a problem can be extensive or narrow activity. Somebody will define everything as a problem, others will always focus on some small unpleasant detail and focus everything around it. In order to have at least some general guidance about problem definition, think about is the problem urgent and expensive for the customer? Who is or will be affected if the problem is solved or not solved? And if you look for a problem worth saving from our company perspective, why customer would choose us? Once we utilize before mentioned general framework for problem identification, we can address the situation with answers on questions like who, what, when, where, and why. Or as Rudyard Kipling described it in his poem, The Elephant Child. I keep six honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what, and why, and when, and how, and where, and who. Answers on those questions can serve us as foundation for writing the good definition of a problem statement. Each of the answers will help to zero in on the specific issue and frame the issue statement. Your problem statement should be solvable. This is, it should take a reasonable amount of time to formulate, try, and deploy a potential solution. Another support tool for better problem definition and consequentially better problem statement is TOSCA framework, which is based on 5 elements: trouble, owner, success criteria, constraint, and actors. The framework helps us define what the trouble is, who is the owner of it, who are the actors involved in it, what are the constraints that prevent others to solve it before, and what will the success look like, based on which criteria the customer will estimate that the problem is successfully solved. If we want to structure our approach to problem solving, we can use 4S methodology that was introduced by Bernard Garrett, Corey Phelps, Oliver Sibony in the book Crack It. The 4S method has 3 parts: hypothesis-driven, issue-driven, and design thinking. Each path covers the 4 stages. They are state, structure, solve, and sell. If we go more into the details, we can follow these steps. State the problem after learning enough about it. This actually means to say when you don't know enough. This requires using empathy techniques. The second stage is structure the problem, of course depending on the path you're on. You can do this with a hypothesis pyramid, with an issue tree, or with the ideation based on the solution imperatives. You use the hypothesis pyramid if you are highly confident in the candidate solution. You use the issue tree if you don't have a good candidate solution, but you can decompose the problem. And you use the ideation if decomposing the problem is ineffective. This is actually the part where the design thinking comes in play. The stage 3 is solving the problem. You can do this by performing the analysis required for the first two paths, the hypothesis pyramid and issue tree. That part is used. And with prototyping and testing the solution, which is used in the design thinking path. And of course, the fourth stage, which is also very important, is selling the solution, focusing on the answer and who your audience is, not on how you solve the problem. The 4S method is iterative and not rigidly sequential. Sometimes you need to jump back and redo some steps in order to get the best final solution. With that part, I'm finishing the fourth part of SaaS education, and in the next phase, we will talk a little bit more about all the paths that we mentioned in this phase. So stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next part.